How's it going, everybody? Thank you all very much. I always appreciate you watching. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another classic movie review. We are coming towards the end of our month of February, celebrating Black History Month and talking about Black-led films all throughout the month. And a couple more reviews I want to get out before the month is over. Right now, I am talking about Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon, a classic from 1985. A lot of people call it a cult classic. For me, it is just a classic. This movie was directed by Michael Schultz, who directed movies like Cooley High, Car Wash. The year that this came out, he also came out with Crush Groove. And this movie stars Taimak in his first real only starring role. And he went on to do other couple small movies, only maybe a few small movies after this, but for the most part, this is the one thing that he is known for. Co-starring in the film as the love interest, the very talented and beautiful Vanity, who that very year also graced the covers of Playboy magazine, and also appeared in John Frankenheimer's 52 Pickup, and also in Action Jackson with Carl Weathers in '87. And she's very good in this movie. You also have Julius J. Carey III as Shonuff, the Shogun of Harlem, as our main bad guy. One hell of a bad guy. So The Last Dragon is a mid-'80s martial arts action movie. It's a very light-hearted movie, very heavy on the cheese. It kind of pays tribute to blaxploitation movies as well as kung fu movies that came out before. It is a movie that has many stereotypes, full of stereotypes, and has some reverse stereotypes in there as well. It has a very simple story. It follows many of the same beats and cliches of a lot of other kung fu movies that came before this one. But one thing that really makes this movie stand out to your kind of generic kung fu movies is this movie has a lot of flair, it has a lot of style, it has a lot of character, it has some very memorable and lovable characters. It's a very flawed movie, but it's a lot of fun. In the film, our main character, Leroy Green, who is eventually given the nickname of Bruce Leroy, he does have a lot of the mannerisms when he's fighting of Bruce Lee, and he also at one point in the film wears the classic outfit, the yellow and black outfit from Game of Death, the very last film that starred Bruce Lee, well, somewhat starred Bruce Lee, and was also donned by Uma Thurman in 2003's Kill Bill. In the film, whenever you see Leroy Green fighting and getting down and busting some ass, you can tell by the mannerisms and all the little sounds that he makes that he's trying to evoke a bit of Bruce Lee's fighting style and the way he looked on screen and the way he posed, and you can tell that Bruce Lee was a major influence on the character. At one point in the film, they're even watching Enter the Dragon. All throughout the film, the main bad guy taunts the hero, Leroy Green, into fighting, but he declines all throughout the movie because they kind of want to build that up into the big fight for the end of the film. And so he's always declining, and after a while, you just really want them to just go at it a little sooner than later because it makes Leroy look like a wimp all throughout the movie, especially to his little brother, Richie, who is one of the best characters in the film, who has a little crush on Vanity's character. Personally, I think Leo O'Brien, who played the role of little brother Richie, put in the best performance in the entire movie. And yeah, you also have the character of Johnny Yu, played by Glenn Eaton in the film. His whole thing is whenever it's time to fight and there are bad guys around, all you have to do is act crazy and be loud, and it'll scare them away. And it works a couple of times it doesn't. And he has a pretty cool standout moment in the third act that I really enjoy whenever I rewatch this movie. If you're someone that watches a lot of movies like me and you're familiar with old school actors and character actors and stuff like that, then look out for a very young Chaz Palminteri in there. He plays a goon in the movie with a very thick mustache. Also look out for a very young William H. Macy in a very small blink and you'll miss it kind of role. And you'll also notice Mike Starr in there, who is in movies like Dumb and Dumber and also in Goodfellas, I believe. And so, yeah, a lot of familiar faces in there. There is a subplot in there with a sub-villain, Eddie Arcadian. He's played by actor Chris Murney. He does okay, but I don't really like the character. I think he's badly written. He has this entire subplot with this thing where he has like a business. He's like an arcade tycoon, and he also wants to get into music, I guess. And he has this person that, her name is Angela, and she's basically like a Cyndi Lauper copycat. And so he's just trying to promote her and stuff and trying to get her music videos played on this show that is hosted by Vanity's character. Now this movie is as 80s as an 80s movie can get. The very opening of the film starts out with a badass song with a training montage to the opening credits. At some point in the movie, midpoint in the movie, you have an entire 5 minutes that stops the movie for a music video basically. And so yeah, you have martial arts, you have music, You have some break dancing in there in the mix at some point. There's quite a bit of humor throughout this movie. Some of it is unintentionally funny, and some of it is just genuinely funny. And some of it has to do with some great lines throughout this movie from our main villain, like Shogun saying things like, "Kiss my Converse," you know, things like that you will definitely remember. Because it was his first movie, I think Taimak did a pretty good job in the role, even though his acting isn't the best. But again, it's his first movie, so you know, I cut him a lot of slack with that. I think for the movie, his performance works very well. And even though this movie is very flawed because, you know, it has a very thin story, some pretty bad dialogue, some bad acting, I do like the characters. I do like the whole thing of this story of this guy having to ascend into that master level and having to obtain the power of the glow. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon, I give the movie 2.5 stars. Yeah, it's kind of a low rating, but there are a lot of 2.5-star movies that I love, and this is definitely one of them. And this is a movie that you can definitely find on streaming, but hard copies are out there if you want to find one. Go online, get one out there while you can. This is my copy right there of The Last Dragon on Blu-ray. This movie is perfect to watch with a group of friends or a small group of people. You get a few drinks and get a smoke or two, sit down and enjoy The Last Dragon. Always good for a few laughs and always a very fun watch. Thank you all very much for watching this classic movie review. I always appreciate it. If you're into movies, if you're into the classics, if you're into this kind of thing, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications of more classic movie reviews. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for your support. I always appreciate it. Please don't forget to comment, share, like, always helps out the channel. And thank you very much, and look out for more classic movie reviews coming out very soon. Everybody take care of each other. Till next time, peace out. God bless.